Gutsy, relentless, overwhelming, and just won't take no for an answer. Rikka enters the league. Rikka's father used to be a competitor in the Cosmo League. Although he disapproves, she hopes to find Zero Saber and become his apprentice, who also used to compete during her father's career. Hey guys, Epsy here. I know you've been waiting for this, so let's get started. Rikka is a bot of the Panzer class, which focuses mostly on her main weapon damage and movement speed. She carries 10% more resistance towards beam attacks, with the trade-off being -6% towards physical damage. Her exclusive weapon, Twin Gatling, deals physical damage, which starts at 1.4 force and can end all the way at 2.3 force at S rank. The Twin Gatling also has a sub-action which deals physical damage with a starting force of 21.3 that can end all the way to 33.9 at S rank. Her EX weapon, Remote Gun, is a ranged attack which deals beam damage, which starts at 11.34. Wait, Remote Gun's a beam attack? Ah, now I see why. Anyway, this caps at 18.1 force at S rank. Just a quick reminder, her Twin Gatlings are exclusive to her, so which means you cannot take these and place them on another Panzer. Rikka's Twin Gatling, despite her ammo, will fire in 20 shots per burst with a cooldown of approximately 1 second between bursts. Her Remote Gun fires in single shots with a cooldown of approximately 3 seconds between each shot. Her Twin Gatling sub-action is pretty much a range melee hybrid which can be used up to 2 times per combo using 1 bullet per hit. Keep in mind that you don't have to have ammo to be able to continue using the sub-action. You will just lose the range capability when you do this. Rikka's shift action Shoot Away replenishes all of Rikka's Twin Gatling ammo across the board. This means her main and her sub. While under the Shoot Away buff, if Rikka fires her Twin Gatling main, she will gain unlimited ammo and be able to fire them continuously until the buff wears off, and her sub action speed increases by quite a bit. I'll be honest, when I landed Rikka, I was pretty much well aware of what she was capable of and what she was able to do, but there were a few things that caught me off guard that I wasn't aware of. Some were good and some were bad, but they did force me to reevaluate how I was going to use Rikka and really realizing what her purpose on the battlefield was. The first thing that caught me off guard was her weapon versatility. I wasn't expecting things like her Remote Gun to actually be beam damage over fire damage, while keeping the amazing tracking that it has to knock enemies out of the air, and I didn't expect her sub-weapons to actually have knockback to them. These kind of things really caught me off guard, and even when you lost ammo on the sub, if an enemy was close enough, you can still hurt them with the little spin. And keep in mind, since she also has those Gatlings, she can just unload a bunch of bullets, which at the end will deal a lot of damage when it's all said and done. But this leads to a bigger problem, which I'll leave at the end of all the surprises. The second thing that threw me off was her firing rate. Her Remote Gun, I can kind of understand why it's fired the way it is and why it has that cooldown, but the Twin Gatling main I really didn't see coming. I mean, it only fires in 20 shots per burst, and that can really throw you off when you're trying to kill a power spot or fight somebody that's chasing you or just fight somebody in general. Even right before getting to this review, I'm still learning more about Rikka's shift action. It has so many things it can do, and it's just always catching me off guard when they actually activate or when I actually start to finally notice them. Last but not least, and this has quite a few big surprises to them that I didn't expect, her Twin Gatling main. The range on it, for one, quite shocking because I didn't expect it to go as far as it does, but then again, she is a Panzer, so that is kind of to be expected. But the real issue that I have with her Twin Gatling mains, and this is the bad side to it, is that she has this kind of lag damage. And what I mean by lag damage is, let's say you're firing at a person, and like I mentioned, 20 shot bursts. If you're firing all 20 bullets, you will not see that enemy take damage until the 20th bullet hits them and it ends, or until you miss one of those bullets, which can be really awkward and can really throw off the battle that you're in. Because you don't know how many times I've been firing at an enemy, have literally killed them, but because I haven't stopped shooting, or because I have to stop short, they would have to die after everything is calculated in. And this sometimes gets me killed as well. So this lag is really something new that I really wasn't prepared for. At the end of the day, don't let Rikka fool you. She's not a high damage bot. She's really a high DPS bot. Now, if only they would be able to fix this issue that she's having with her Twin Gatling mains. There are a few classes I recommend Rikka fighting against, and there are a few that I recommend you do not fight against unless you don't have a choice or you're definitely sure you can take this opponent down. The classes I recommend Rikka fighting against are Fortress types and Panzer types. Fortress types, they have just as much range as you, but they don't have your mobility. And Panzer types, they don't have the mobility or the range as you do. And on top of it, you have a beam weapon that does a lot of damage as well. As long as you stay on your toes, these two classes should be a piece of cake for you. Her rival classes would be Buster types and Jammer types. Yes, Buster types may not be able to out DPS her, but keep in mind they might have more range and they tend to have a little bit more tracking than she does. So when fighting these classes, really whoever has the upper hand has the upper hand. Jammers, once again, they tend to pull a lot of people around, and even though she has a lot of DPS, she does not have any AoE unless you're doing the melee, but jumping in the middle of a group of people and doing that pretty much is suicide for you because they'll fly right back into your face. Now this leaves the last two classes, the classes that I absolutely recommend not fighting against unless you don't have a choice or you're sure that you can definitely take this opponent down. These would be Assault types and Aerial types. This means Mia's, Zero Sabers, Crimroses, Pacifars, Froglanders, Axions, and so forth. Yes, you can out damage them, that's for sure, through DPS of course, but the one thing that they will do, and they will do without fail compared to you, is outmaneuver you. Keep in mind, with everything that I mentioned about Rikka, she does not have any maneuverable attacks. The only thing that she has is the melee, but they will easily get right back in your face just as fast as you knock them out. So when you see these guys, stay away from them unless, once again, you're sure you can outplay them or you're sure that you can kill them before they can do anything serious to you. Cards that I would recommend on Rikka would be Boost Running, Air Running, Damage Up, back damage up by 10%, Tower Breaker of any kind, and Tower Defense, increased range. Rikka is a great bot, but she's not as straightforward as she seems, thanks to those things that I mentioned before. If you made a bot in CosmicBreak 1 that was built around destroying PSs as fast as possible or alpha striking, then Rikka's going to be right at home for you, especially with the fact that she has kind of a built-in moving burst. Her shift action is great, her maneuverability is great, her remote gun is excellent, and her range on her Gatlings is something to die for. But, like I said before, she is somebody that you're going to have to take a little time to understand and use properly. But with enough patience, I'm pretty sure you'll come to love using Rikka just as much as I love using her.